What up? What up? Hope everybody's having a solid one. You know what I mean? Um, I'm gonna keep it straight. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys out there and watching this. I hate lives, straight up. I can't stand them. I'm gonna try to do my best to bust out a half hour for you guys right now, just because I said I was going to, you know. But man, sitting here staring at a screen, nobody around. It's like a desk job. You know what I mean? I'd much rather fuck go lift some weights or take my dogs on a walk, go do something. Like sitting here, let's see if I could do it for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? What up, Goyo? No, the homie, like I was just saying, talking to myself, just trying to bust out alive. You know, like I said, I'm not a big live dude. Sitting on this, it's just like, to me, it's nerve wracking. Sitting here, it's like you're on lockdown. You can't move. You gotta stare at a screen. So, Burqueño, ¿qué hubo, homie? Um, I don't know how guys do it. That's a good topic of conversation. Let's start. I always wonder what to start with. That's a good conversation topic to start with for you. How do guys sit there for hours on end, um, doing a live? And when I say doing a live, I mean bookie straight up. I mean when I say doing a live, I mean like how I'm doing it, throwing one. You know, it's a trip. I trip out on vatos how they do that shit. Oh yeah, yeah. I know that Buqueño. No worries. You're good, homie. I don't trip anyway. But yeah. So that's I trip out because I'll see guys they do it for like 2.5, 3, 4 hours. And you know, what up, E? How you doing, homie? Hope you're having a good one. You know, every day as usual. I hope everybody in the comment section, period. Haters, lovers, my enemigas, whatever. I hope everybody's having a feed one. One thing I learned a long time ago: you reap what you sow. What you put out is what you get back. So if you want to put out, you try to put out good vibes as much as possible. Watch them flow back. You know, try as best I can. But you know, E Visions is one of those guys that he's always tried to stay on a positive tip. Lori Munoz, Sorale, what's up, Lori? So I'm seeing a lot, this is cool. I'm seeing a lot of positive people in here. I haven't seen a person yet. Matter of fact, I know a couple people in here have tapped out for me when I go into my negative trips. And Spansas, in our language, that means like sorry, for when I do that. Because I'm not perfect. Everybody's different, and I got an anger problem. That's one thing I'll say. I never really had no problem denying it. You could ask me. I'm a pretty honest person to a fault. I've lost friends over being honest. I've lost co-workers don't like me because I tell them, I tell them straight up, how I feel. Like I said, honest to a fault. But you ask me and I'll tell you straight. Like I got a bad temper. It was once to a point where I had zero control over it, like physically. I would go off in a classroom, whatever. Ever since I was in DC, YDDC, I was like that. YA, I used to get off, and then so when I got out, I would just start getting off as soon as I got angry. And so that gradually, I got better throughout the last few years. Shout out to everybody up in here. Easy Blue. But yeah, so that was one of my problems, and you can see it if you watch some of my videos. I'm not even gonna deny it. You can eVisions has seen it. A lot of everybody's seen it really on here. When I do my lives or I do my diss video, my videos. I will say one thing: any of those videos I've ever done, talking down, or, kind of dissing somebody out, was because they did it to me first. It was a jab back at them. But still, you can see my emotions bleed through. You can see the anger in me. And that's something, to be honest, if you know how to harness it, anger is a good thing. Talk to any professional fighter, Muhammad Ali, anybody in the military, they'll tell you, you need that. You're technically a psychopath if you don't get it. Everybody has the emotions, natural emotions, fear, anger, things like that. But it's about how you harness it and how you control it. Like if someone yells at you at work, if you can calm yourself, talk about it, and then go home, lift some weights, boom, positivity. Instead of socking them in the mouth and then you go home and get all drunk. You see how that works? Yeah, I'm always down to give my opinion. I've always that's honestly why I made the channel. I actually got fired one time. I shit you guys not for being opinionated. My boss said you're too opinionated. I think I told this before in one of my stories, and they don't like that. Bosses don't. Most people don't like it. You know why? Because you're going against the grain. Other coworkers start asking, "Well, maybe we should get a pay raise. Maybe we're getting treated unfairly." Make it's that rebellious attitude, a leader's attitude. Like, oh, hold up. Don't worry about this manager. I got a better idea. And to be honest with you, most people don't like that, especially management, especially places of work. They want you to do as you're told. If not, they call it insubordination. Last thing they need is somebody walking around, just some average coworker telling people, hey, man, these fools are overworking us. Or check it out, these fools are supposed to give us a square hour for lunch. When your average dude ain't even asking about it, you know what I mean? He ain't worried about it because whatever, he's a follower, he just goes with the flow. And then you're over there questioning shit, like that'll get you the boot quick. Promise you, I've had it. But anyway, back to the root of what I was saying. So that's why I started the channel. I've gotten into it with guys. I always have my opinion. The reason that be is how I was raised up. Since I was a youngster, my jefito, they taught me, hey, speak your mind. Don't be a silent. Don't put your head down. Also, don't be a pushover. Like my dad was the type. Here's a story for you guys. I don't know how you guys were raised, but I was raised up like this. My dad told me straight, grabbed me by the arm and told me, if I ever find out you ran from a fight or you back down, cowarded, curted, I'll whip your ass myself. So not only are you going to run from them, but you're going to come home and get your ass whipped. For real. R.I.P. Pops, you know what I mean? To the real ones, the old school ones. It was about these, you know what I mean? Nowadays, talk it out, call the cops. There's a lot of cowards, even gunplay. I'll go as far as to say, in my opinion anyway, guns, people shooting, that's coward behavior. That's evading the, hand me a gun, what should I do? I'll pistol whip somebody's face until it looks like a flat football. You know what I mean? Because to me, that's, like I said, that's that anger. Well, I'm not going to get any anger out just going blap, 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 like I'm shooting at a fucking target. Like that's just target practice. Real warrior, Aztec. You know what I mean? Whoa! Jump in and start hitting them with your club. Bah, 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 bah. There, that's real. What's up, Sav? Orale, homie. But that's real. To me, that's realness. Everyone meet at the park and just 5 homies just with 5 other homies. Just, boom, boom, boom. Everybody gets knocked down and back up. And, you know what I mean? I've been stuck all kinds of shit. Look at that. They got me pretty good. They're stuck all the way down here. Yes. But, and most of the time, not always, but people live. Everybody lives. The youngsters live. Talk about it the next day and like, oh, that guy's got some hands on him, And everybody's all good, you gain a respect for one another. But nobody gains a respect or wins really when someone gets shot 3 times in the stomach. One guy goes to prison at 16 years old, another dead at 15, 16 years old. And Burke, hey, shout out to Burke right now. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. These youngsters done lost it, All right, that's what I'm talking about, Milan. But so everybody, actually, I don't want to say Burke. We have a real high, murder rate and shooting rate, but it's everywhere. It's the new generation. It's the drill generation, is what I call it. These guys didn't play video games. The last thing that's coming to their mind is trying to be a man. Like, I don't want to say be a man, but really like, well, I'm gonna line it up with 4 or 5 of these fools and scrap them. Spence out to anyone from Cali, in Nuevo Mexico. When we say the word scrap, with that, it's not disrespect to the South. I know I got a lot of subscribers here that are from Califas. We still refer to that, or squabble, as fighting, just fist fighting. Like I should scrap that fool. That's still how we talk in Burke. I know lingo is different in California fools hear that word and they're getting like norte and stuff, and they feel disrespected. I mean, sureños feel disrespected, but it's nothing like that. You know, it means fight. But anyway, so we still, you know, all right, cool. Yeah, San Antonio. I got a couple friends. Shout out to the Solis brothers, you know, that are from what is it, East San Antonio or something like that. But they're tagged. They're all tagged up. There's some real. One thing about Raza, that leads me to a good point, because I know I do have subscribers here from Cali, from Califa. Shout out to my Califa subs. Nuevo. I got some Phoenix guys. One thing about the Southwest states, and I don't know if it's a curse and a blessing in the same. I would say like it's a double-edged sword. Warrior mentality. That Azteca, Raza. You look at Raza in Chicago. you look at yeah, of course, Ryan, no problem, because you know I was born. A lot of people, some know them, some don't. I always tell people I don't rep it. You know, I don't say I'm from, you know, Star Lost all day and all this, because I don't really like. I've never done no videos about it because out of respect. You know, I don't say I'm from there because I wasn't raised there. You know, like when you really get your stripes, I didn't get those there. But I will, and I could bust out my birth certificate. You know, no one can deny where I was born. You know, I was born in Sawloss. You know what I mean? Right there, Natividad Road, Salinas Valley Memorial Hospital. Right there off Natividad is where I was born, and my dad was raised there though. My dad was raised through the '60s, through the '70s, to the '80s, when banging was pretty prevalent in the Sawloss streets. You know what I mean? And he was proud of that. So I don't deny where I was born. You know, I can't change what's on my birth certificate. But what I rep is Burke. You'll always hear me saying Burke, because that's where I got my gang. That's where I learned about street gangs. That's where I learned about dope dealing. You know, like what I really came into my teen years. You know, and you're like really hitting licks and putting in work. That's that Burke life. You know, that Nuevo life. It's for real. So, but then again, I've been around. Never. Again, I've already told people this. Again, it's hard for me to say I'm from here or here. I'm basically a traveling man. I'm just myself. Because oh yeah, shout out to Chronicles, my boys up in here. Cricket, all right. Much love to Cricket. You know, from the Chronicles, Finiquero right there. I just if you get a chance, check out my video. I did a reaction on those young bucks from Murderville. And shout out to my homie Skinny. You know what I mean? My homie Skinny Skinny Chacon. I don't want to give his first name, but striped up, done a lot of tiempo, and he's from the West. You know what I mean? He's got he's got big old WPAHX, and then he all you know, he's just crazy. Some of them fools from real Finiqueros are local from the East and the West. You know, they got a lot of crazy hoods. Man, where do I even start? That is a good section we can go down right there. We got man, where do I start? We got 65th. I gotta definitely give a shout out to Hayden Park, all the homies from the South, you know, Broadway, man, Dupoville, not just Crone, but all the way down to 19th, 21st, Chaco City Life, all the projects, West Side City. The list goes on with those guys, man, for real. Chicano, West Side Chicano gang. Man, I got homies, like I said, the list just that WBP. Shout out to all the original WBPers, you know, before they kind of yeah. Much love to AZ, bro. Because you gotta realize, understanding that as I speak about Arizona, that's our neighbor state. We got Texas on one side, we got Arizona on the other side, and then to the south is of course Mexico. It's the south of all of us. And so we get word, and a lot of us have familia, you know, like a cousin in Phoenix, especially like me having familia in Cali and residing in New Mexico. I would go through. I would go back and visit, and I would go all through Maricopa County. Actually, been in the horseshoe. You know what I mean? Locked up over there. It take like 8 days for them to process you, and it ain't no joke. Fools getting off. Yeah, Wedgewood. There we go. West Side. Yeah. The list goes on. and they're real ones. I mean, gangs go back to the, just like to the roots, like 60s to the 50s to the 60s, like the original, like Wetback, Pride, you know. Like my homie always used to say, picking watermelons and beans, you know. And yeah, so they have a history. It's a little different, and you notice though, the youngsters, their lingo is a lot different. It really has changed the way they talk, and I'm not talking just Phoenix, but Burke, Texas. I mean, Texas has always embraced brotherly love, but Cali, everything is it's cool with me, it's all blending, I guess you could say, into one. Where it used to be a strict separation. Okay, these are the brothers, these are the Chicanos. Now you got these Edgars. You know what I mean? I see the guy walking down the road the other day when I was doing that video about Murderville. Man, I tell you, it was two brothers. Both of them were Edgars. I was tripping. I said, "Damn, these guys done blended into one." Hey, laughing matter, but for real though. But here's the scary part though: is they're with the business. Don't let them fool you. They'll pull a 30-round clip out that Edgar. You know what I mean? And get busy. These guys got weapons. Even though the homies were more down, I feel like back in the day, as far as their style. Shout out to Sean, man. I don't know if I actually said it yet. Sean from across the pond, always been a supporter, one of the positive guys. Like I said, everybody. One of the things people are starting to realize, my subscribers and people, it's a love-hate relationship with me. I'll come out with, like, people know what I'm talking about. Burqueño know what I'm talking about. Lori, everyone knows what I'm talking about. Like, I'll come out with 2 videos that are like super positive or kind of positive, and everyone's like, all right. And then I'll come out with a video that just kind of pisses everyone off, and everyone's like, fuck you, and then back good again. And it's the same way in real life. Like, the same energy I put out in YouTube is how I pretty much, I'm not a fake. I'm not going to put out something different on YouTube than how I am in real life. I try to keep it real, true or fault. And then, like I said, a lot of people, I'll tell you one thing all day. Yeah. Hey, and that's another thing. Hey, my chats. Hey, I apologize. You got me right. Hey, you had me dead to rights, brother. I put out something in the video. I don't know if you noticed I took the video down because I'm not the type to say if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'm not gonna push incorrect information, as far as if I know it's incorrect, upon my subscribers. I want to put that out there about the community strike. I never had heard of one, never had one, and I thought I had everything you can get, bro. So when you enlightened me to that and opened my eyes, I made the correction. So Spansas, and Rasha for pointing that out to me, He knows what I'm talking about. Nobody also know what I'm talking about, but Machete knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, but hey, tell me this, and I would rather have 2,000-3,000 subscribers that like me for my content. And this is going to lead into a good subject. We're about to start getting on the gunner subject right here. Hey, everybody loves to talk about that. It seems like, but what I know was I still now I don't know if you guys got me all caught up. Forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So would you guys rather me, could keep it real, say how I feel deep down from the Cora, instead of telling you what you want to hear, lying? At least I may give my opinion on it, and you're like, oh, well, now we know where Mike stands. Even though I don't agree with him, even though I'm like, fuck you on that. At least I know that's how he truly feels, because that's just you can tell from just the things I've said, like saying I don't agree with homeless and shit like that. Like, that's pretty much putting my neck out there to get cut. But I do that because I always tell people, I tell them at work too, hey, I'd rather be hated for being real than loved for being fake. Even though it's a classic line, it's true. A lot of people out there nowadays would love to be, as long as they're getting that pat on the back, and the team is, what do you call it, lifting them up on their shoulders, like they do in the old football movies, when they make the touchdown and the team lifts you up. They don't give a damn what they're standing behind. They'll stand behind the worst shit in the world just to get that acceptance, that hey. Me, I always been the underdog, because of that reason. When everybody else is, I'll go with the crowd if what the crowd is going with make sense. And it's like, yeah, okay, all right, everybody making sense, but rarely does that happen. Most of the time, when they just follow with whatever, and that's gonna be what they call general consensus, which is, for lack of a better word, what everybody wants to do, regardless of what it is, Damn, hey, oof, oof, oof. Hater in full force, head on. I ain't gonna block him out just yet. Let's see what else he's got to say. He took the time to hop on, but check it out. I'm not even talking about Gunner. What the fuck's he talking about? I'm talking about myself. Thank you. You know what I mean? Hey, why would I take my lifetime to talk about Gunner when I got to, you know what I mean? He's the next best thing. I'm the shit. You can tell this fool already don't know. See, that's what I was about to get to. See, I was just gonna say, I don't even sit here and talk about that fool. You know what I mean? I would never sit here and talk about another man all day. I'll sit here and talk about my opinion, my ways of how I do shit, and how I feel. Like I was just talking about my opinions on things. Now, should I give my opinion on him? All right, but I ain't gonna sit here. That's what I was about to get to. This is a perfect opinion. Well, we got a fan in the house also. See, I would never, and this is I don't want to put nobody down for their own stilo. If another dude wants to make 10 videos, like there's plenty right now. You pointed out, point in any direction, you're gonna find a channel making videos about Gunner. But on me, even though I have my beef about him, even I could have made 20 already. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do it because let me tell you why. I want my views, even if there's only 2,000 subscribers I have. I want those 2,000 subs to be there, subscribe to me, because they like my channel. They like my opinions. They like the things I have to say and my, you know what I mean? And my way of thinking, my content. I hate to say it, but let me tell you guys something. Every subscriber that anyone gets because they do a video about Gunner, they didn't make that's not their subscriber. They didn't get a subscriber that's loyal to them. They got a subscriber that hates Gunner. Understand? And to be honest, I don't care to have a bunch of haters as subscribers. If anyone, any one person, comes to me just because I made a video hating on a man, what kind of person are they? You know what I mean? They're not an appreciator. They're a hater lover. They want to see that. Oh, talk about another man. Let's see another video talking shit about him. Like, those ain't people I need in my crowd. All right. Later, homie. Sometimes I got to pull the plug. I don't like to, you know what I mean? Because I got a loud mouth myself. So I like fools to, you know what I mean, do their thing. But fools got to lay off and get on with it sometimes. So check it out, though. That's my opinion on that. To be honest, though, I'm just keeping it 100% real. Like, I would hate to get 2,000-3,000 subscribers all because they hate Gunner so much that they want to see me make another video about him. Or they hate this fool. Like, dale, miss me with that. Like, I'm not saying that if that's your thing and you walk around wanting to see videos about other people, cool. Who am I to say what you are and are not to be cool to like? Oh, you can't be a hater. You can't hate haterism videos. You can't hate all, you know what I mean? You can't surf YouTube all day looking for videos about Gunner. Go for it. If that is your, what do you call it? If that floats your boat, if that's your forte, who am I to say? And vice versa too. If there's another man, there's many right now because it's profitable, making videos about this fool, exposing this fool, and they're making it's the cherry on top of Sunday. They're making extra fatty off for it. All right, whatever. But it ain't my stilo. Is all I'm saying. I don't want. I'm not part of that whole. Hey, to be honest, here we go. Here's a one that you ain't heard yet. I could give a shit less if he's fake or not. I bet you right now, you go through all the different genres on YouTube. There's probably rats and fakes and all types of shit telling stories. He ain't no different to me. You know what I mean? I never. Maybe there's people out there that pedestaled him. Or thought that vato, him and Dubs were like, superheroes or doubt about it with all the business. But I've always known one thing. They do decent content, yeah. Gunner tells good stories, but he's just that. It's exactly what I've always seen him as, a good storyteller. You know, I don't know the vato from a rat's ass. Like I said, I don't know. I never was in the pinta with him or in the calles where I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, this boy, as he jumps on, like I know him, you know, in the real world, and I can vouch for him. So since I never expected nothing from him, how can I be let down when I see all this shit about him? I knew that there was something funky with him when he made a video the next day about me, knowing damn well that they were both in the wrong that night. A real one would have been like, hey, Spencer, apology, yeah. Even though you don't fucking agree, that ain't no way to act. So you watch people's behavior, you know, see how they come off. But again, not doesn't mean I'm gonna drop 10 videos. I did 2 videos. Both of them were reactions to videos made about me. That's the point I made. So that's one of the things I did want to cover on a base while I was on a live in here. Was I wanted to cover this whole, man, you know, I don't want to diss, but every channel, Gunner Dubs, Gunner Dubs, Gunner Dubs, Gunner Dubs, you know, it don't impress me. I'm just keeping it straight, 100 with you guys. It don't impress me a bit, nor does it interest me. Will I watch a video now and then? Yeah. How can I not? You know what I mean? 60% of the people I'm subscribed to are making every other video is about Gunner. Now and then you're gonna click on one, but you know, it doesn't. It's not like ooh ee wing wang walla walla bing bang. Like, oh, he's a rat. Oh, he was wrong. Like, I never thought he was on top of the world anyway. You know, you got to realize as certain people know what to look for as far as like behaviors of people, certain things they say, certain things they cover. You know. You got any torta stories? Planning, but that's another one. Like I ain't trying to tell all those stories. Shit, I was knocking that shit off in high school. You know what I mean? When I was selling dope and all that. Like, there's more that I wouldn't have be able to remember half of them. First off, even if I did try to tell those stories, I wouldn't be able to remember half of them. The other half, I could care less. That ain't my content. You know what I mean? That ain't the foot. You're barking up the wrong tree for that one. I got 4 kids. You know, that's a done deal. I done knocked them all. I knocked them out the park. You know what I mean? Yaramendo. But I'm happy I could tap in with you guys, you know, especially like I said, I seen a gang, a few people that said what's up, or some real ones up in here, you know. I'm not trying to tap out just yet or nothing. I just wanted to let everybody know though, you know, because I'll keep it real. Like I said when I first came in, I'm not big on lives. They once I started going though, blah, 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 I can talk. I never had a problem communicating, especially communicating my opinion on things. All right, that's cool, Ryan. What is that? Hot rails all day? That's crazy. Well, so check it out. I didn't PC up. Anytime I get locked up, when I hit MDC and I go in, I go to F6, F7. Well, not F7, that was a god pod, but F9. You know, I go to active gang pods because I'm considered an active gang member. I have not debriefed. I consider myself a family man. I don't check in. I don't bang. But then again, I never ratted or debriefed, so I do go to an active pod. There is possibility of me being removed, being murdered, being whatever. You know, I'm the type of person, you know, I say we deal with that bridge when we get there. You know, but I'm not. I got no reason to PC up. I got no reason to fall off. Oh, I don't know if that was the right Hey, I just seen another Farmero come through, and then that was Machete. My bad. Man, I get all you vatos flying the Wega bird. I get you all confused. So that was a Farmero. I meant to say. I was just saying Spencer earlier to Machete, but I was sending it to the wrong one. I was saying, yeah, gracias for letting me know. I dropped that. I took the video down because I never heard about that. I never got one of those strikes, and I got all kinds of shit demonetized, suspended, all that stuff, you know, and 2 copyright strikes, and so I never heard of it. But gracias for setting me straight because I took it down because I wouldn't want to, you know, give my I wouldn't want to put out any false information. If I know for sure that something I said is wrong, I'll take that shit down in a rush. You know, so that's why I pulled that video. But gracias, homie. You know, for lining me out on that one. I was wrong. I was incorrect. Shimon. But I changed that up. I pulled the video. I read up on it a little bit, but I'm surprised I never got hit with one of those. I mean, I can't believe they would demonetize me before they would even give me a strike or anything. That's pretty fucked up, you know. But that's how they roll. That's how they be. They've always hit the Chicano, the brown man. Yeah, I hear you, bro. Like I was just saying earlier when I started this live, that I'm not big on lives. Like content, I can kick back at my own pace, record it, talk about what I want, then I release it, and I still get paid for it, you know. But this here is more like you got to get into the whole thing of it. You know, you guys know I don't do lives too often, and sometimes they don't turn out too well. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I've seen a lot of, you know, there's a lot of camaraderie. I've seen that, you know, it's beautiful when there's camaraderie, but then there's a lot of beef too, name drop trolls in it. Um, Inner beefs between channels start on from lives with the whole everything going on with Gunner and Flacco and Dankin and yeah, no, I'm not. I just go to the gang pod, you know what I mean? And there's gonna be, and the way it goes where we're in the Nuevo when we hit MDC is there's fools usually like you gotta get with your own boys, your own homies, in the pot because they're gonna put all the gang members together. So you're gonna have like 6 or 7 Songho boys, a couple 14 streeters, you know what I mean? You have some Southside local, like 8 or 9 of them. And so what you do when you hit your block, your cell block, you know, when you hit F6 or whatever, you want to get with your boys. You know what I mean? You want to, you know, right away you get with your barrio. That's kind of how that works. And then you always have like shout out to the homie in here. There's actually one of them in here, or X one in here. Shout out to the homie from Westside Locals, Doc Bob, Cero Tres. They're always big in every cell block. Westside used to be kind of small. That's the crazy part. On Burqueño, I remember when Westside was like not too big. Like they were just, I mean, they've been around for a long time, like Happy Homes and shit like that. But then you start seeing these youngsters, like a lot of them, because they all got the Washington symbol. That's what they wear. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's something in the water or what. But in the West Side, I mean, there's got to be more than 1,000 West Side locals. I mean, this is like the number we're talking here. They just took over everything. Cero Tres, dollars over change, death on chaos. And that's another one. You got to watch them. I'm not saying I want to say you got to watch them, but see, so they started wearing socks gear, which stood for shits on chaos, or you know what I mean, stabs up chaos and shit like that. And that started in, again, like I was about to say, when you enter MDC, that's a beef that started in there. They started taking flight on all TCK members. Spence, I know, and I'm trying to put you on the spot or anything on me. I probably shouldn't have said nothing. But yeah, hey, what up, OG? Hugo's Homes. Nah, just kicking it, bro. Yeah, checking in with my people. Happy to see everybody. La Verdad. This is crazy. You know what's crazy? You asked that, La Verdad. I did see that. I don't want to say anyone ranked it or anything. I don't know about all that. Like, I can't say, but I did see the dude standing out there, that MTP on the corner for like an hour. I wasn't watching the whole thing, but I was actually going through and I seen Upstate tagged in the thing, and I was like looking at it, and this Cherishita was about on the block, on some block. You know what I mean? He said it was on King Street or something. Oh yeah, and they're generational already. The West Side locals, and they just, like I said, there's a lot of them. dedicated too. Where's the they did that shit on their eyelids and the homie Turtle. Shout out to Turtle. I don't know where he's at. I know he was on his way to prison last time I seen him for shooting out of some TCKers on his roof. Pop, 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 pop. You know what I mean? These guys, for a long time, they had a dedicated war with this gang called TCK. Oh yeah, Farmero could be. I believe. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know either way. I don't even know the Vato. I've seen him comment on a few things, but I don't know him. Shout out to both of the dudes. Uh, shout out to Upstate. Shout out to the other Vato. I don't know. But like I said, I don't even know what is their beef. I guess I bet you live shit. That's what I'm saying. You gotta trucha on these lives, Holmes. This shit gets people caught up. No, Machete. They have like road crews and shit. You know what I mean? But not like the actual. They still run like actual chain gangs in Arizona. You know why? Because of that asshole Arpaio, Joe Arpaio. They had the worst sheriff slash. I think he ended up being governor or something. If any, shout out to all my Finiqueros. If Crickets is in here still, he'll know what I'm talking about. They had a vato. Oh, Ryan Benavides. There we go. See, or just when it, all right. That should give you a little out. You know what I mean? Mentality. There's only 25 people in this chat. Half of them, probably only a few of them are from Bulke, and already two of them are talking about West Side locals. You got the homie AR, and then Free Payaso right here, the homie Ryan. Shout out, what's up, Ryan? I know he's got the Duke right there on his hat, Duke City. Shout out to the Duke. You know what I mean? The Bulke. Yeah, you know what, Farmero? My jefito was with the business back in the day, and he was in Monterey County a bunch of times, and he's from my dad grew up Fremont, Barrio Fremont, by Market Street, old school Fremont boys though from the late '70s. So he was with the business, never removed, never PC. My jefito. He used to tell me stories about Monterey County though. And back in his day, I think it was F pod was felony in Monterey, and K was like what, misdemeanor or green, and yeah, El Farmero. That's a misdemeanor, right? Felony is more a little more laid back, right? It's a trip how I'm sitting here talking about being in MDC and Burke, and then my jefito being in Monterey County here. You see the connection here? That's what I love about myself, and not about just the raza. Oh, Ducky Button. Bucky Dutt. Hey, I just noticed that comment. Sorry if I'm missing anybody's comments and try to keep up. Do you believe the stories these prison channels tell? Some of them, you can't think that all these vatos did that many years and didn't see some riots, didn't see some sick ones. I do believe some of them. But then again, when they're running low on stories or they be telling fishermen stories, you know what I mean? Um, you know, so yeah, that's what it is. I think that they do a discovery packet, Ryan. It doesn't take long. If you got a good lawyer, he can get it. It has a lot to do with your case. Is it a shooting? Is it like a if it's a dope deal that they did like an active buy on, and then you can get that pretty quick. Uh, Bloody Beaumont in the feds. Shout out to the homie Payaso, not from Westside Locals, but from Sureños right now. He's fighting a mad case. I was actually supposed to do an interview with him before he got locked up. If anybody has heard of, what's up, Rich? If anybody's heard of Payaso from Seattle, I was actually linking up with him to do an interview. But he's got a lot of stipulations. He was telling me he couldn't do a lot of things due to, yeah, see, like, take cricket, for instance. As many years he's been down, XM, he's got the DL, and he doesn't really have too many stipulations on what he can and can't say to. He doesn't follow, you know what I mean? Follow the code, and I mean, not in a disrespectful way, but let's just say he don't bow down no more. You know what I mean? He's his own man. He runs his own program, so he talks about what he wants. See, so people like him are actually, as weird as it sounds, kind of a blessing somewhat to to you viewers. They want the down low on what's really going on, because most of active autos obviously can't talk about it. You know what I mean? They know, but they can't talk about it. It falls under stipulations. So autos that have already gone through the hits and through, I mean, possibly losing their life, got the green light on them, are going to be ones where you might be able to, you can ask. There's even been guys come out on YouTube channels admitting, active members. Look at MOD. Shout out to Shadow. Shout out to some guys to Hood Stocks. There's guys that have admitted to getting information or watching videos from, from guys that are no longer active, due to it's information you're only going to get from people that can speak about it technically. You know what I mean? But Payaso was going to try to, I just was going to ask him about his music and a few questions, try to keep it, nothing big. And then this happened, something happened. I don't know what, allegedly. And then he got locked up. Yeah. So that's my answer to that. Was actually a really good question. Do I believe these stories? I believe some of them, and like I said, it would be honestly foolish to think a man did 10 years. I don't care whether he was on the PC, active, damn, staring at the wall. Somebody's going to hit you in the back of the head after 10 years staring at the wall. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to see it. I don't care if you try to avoid it, if he wasn't with the business, like, you know what I mean? It's like you're going to get hit with something from the side, or you're going to see some shit. Um, Daniel size. You know what? I'll say something about that. Why not? Since somebody brought it up. Um, don't know the Vato personally in real life. Got nothing against him. The whole beef was like, I felt like he was being real hypocritical and judgmental, talking about calling everyone else in the genre a bunch of trolls and a bunch of what he calls these in housewives. And all I said, very respectfully, was, you got to make sure, you look in the mirror and take a look at yourself before you point at others. And that was a big old fucking fit trip and all that. So there's that. That's all. Yup. Farmero, yeah, a lot of fools. I mean, he's right. Farmero, that Monterey County is one of the few jails where like fools get murdered. I mean, not just beat. You'll hear about beat downs and some crazy shit, but fools over there like are trained to kill. They kill. Removals result in deaths, not just severe beatings, but deaths a lot of the times. A lot of people don't understand the way that the politics work with organized organizations. That's funny. They teach you to murder. They teach you to kill. Literally, they make you learn the book. Uh, yeah, I'll just say that. So what they'll do is they'll teach you what, you know what I mean, to be an assassin from how to mix your caca and everything to, you know, your toxins, air darts, knife making, you know what I mean, programming, um, art of war. Read, write, read, write, work. You know, the whole, yeah, exactly. No room for mistakes. Everyone knows you're only as strong as your weakest link. That's something that's preached. You know, if I'm a traitor, kill me. It's something that's recited amongst the north there. And this is, it's, you know, these are codes that are lived by, you know. Uh, but like I said, same thing, not quite as much organization, but more danger when it comes to like MDC. Like I was saying, you go into the active pods there. There's an organization, like certain people fall into burqueños, which is its own. It's a whole different thing you got going in there. You got burqueños, and then you got SNMers, and then like sureños usually don't fall under burqueños, but South Valley boys do, like Southside locals. Um, and it's a little more dangerous, in my opinion, due to if you're in Monterey County and you're norteño and you're programming correctly, doing your thing, you'll be all right. You're in the motherland, you know what I mean? But if you are in like MDC, you know what I mean? And yes, I did kick it with Sureños when I got to Burke. You know what I mean? Vatos, but Vatos from around the town. You know what I mean? From Burke town. Sureños, some from Califa, some from around the town. South Valley boys. You know what I mean? I used to live in the South Valley. That was a time when Southside locals. That's why I changed up my video. Southside locals and Sureños from Burke used to be kind of like one. They would have the same kind of like a bald headed stilo. A lot of them would wear blue. And then it kind of got to a point where they were like, you know what? Nah, Southside locals are Southside locals. Like, we're barrio Southside local. Those guys are Sureños. So that's why I actually split up the video. On my Burke, people probably know what I'm talking about. I actually used to have one video on my Albuquerque ganglands that were it was called Southside Locals, but I put some Sureños in it. Are they is SJF completely on their own now? Burqueño? Are they not even with Burqueños? I'd like to know that. No, Sax. Oh wait, SAOC Santa or Santa Ana, Orange County. All right, I got you. No, I mean I was born there. I was born in Salinas, bro. But I left. I've told this story a lot of times. I left at a very young age, like around 8, 9 years old. I left East Salas, where my dad was raised, where my family's from, and because it was kind of like my dad got caught up for slanging, and it was one of the old, hey, pull me out of my bed. I'll never forget it. You know, it was like a movie. I still see him, man. That was one of the like they just hit the homie spot. He told my mom, pack up. It was basically like grab me, grab my jefita, and throw us all in a camper. Rented a U-Haul. Basically everything we could grab that was valuable, like all the jewelry. My dad had a couple safes, all our backpacks of clothes. My dad passed away, so I can talk about this, or else they'd be probably fucking loading up right now because they're always watching. You know what I mean? But that's why I can talk about it. He was like, they had raided his homie's pad in Isalas, in Casitas. If anyone might up in here knows what I'm talking about, my dad was best friends with with one of the big homies from Casitas. So they hit Casitas, and my dad lived Del Monte at the time, Del Monte Circle, and so he was like, boom, boom, did the old 2 in the morning, like in a movie, loaded us all up and drove out, never looked back, type shit. 2 days later, we was in Burke, staying at a little trailer park by my auntie's house on the west side. Then I moved to Duranes. Shout out Barrio Duranes, right there off Rio Grande. Lived there for a few years. And I never really stayed in one spot. Like, oh, we just bought this house and lived in this barrio forever. Like my tia they would already live there. I had family that already lived in Burke. That's why we left Cali. Of course, first thing comes to mind, family, right? Where's the nearest family we can go? Burke. So here I am, this little kid, 8, 9 years old. All I know is Salinas. Boom. Now I'm in Albuquerque on the west side. We were staying by that bingo spot. And then so that's kind of a little backdraft on me. So it's kind of hard to say. I can't say like I won't. Yo. Oh, Joe's in the house. What up? It's the homie right here. From the four corners all the way down. Shout out. Right here. It's the homie. He's a trucker, drives a truck. He's revered in the trucker community. Tell James Best. I said, well, I heard your James Best is new bestie. Best is bestie. What happened with that, Joe? They recruited you or what? I heard you were the next best Messi. Messi. What it do, Joe? It's the homie right here, Joe. Like I said, you guys ever need the trucking done, he's your man. Diecast trucking, whatever, hard worker. Like I said, you guys go check out his channel. He's got his own channel. And he's in the trucker community. That's what he does. He drives himself a Matson. He's a Jake Breaker. So shout out to you. Ducky butt. I don't know, bro. You know what I mean? That's the kind of shit I could care less. And so that's one thing I do want to say. I will throw out real quick. I just touched on it earlier, but I will touch on it again real quick. Just to Ryan, shout out, homie. Aren't you from are you from West Side, homie? Or you were saying from actually I don't want to put you on the spot. I for some reason I thought you were saying you're from TC. But Spencer's, because I know you guys are solid ones, and try to get into doing more lives. I'm gonna try to do one a weekend. Every weekend I'm doing a couple hours, get my music going and get everything all set up. That's the plan. Oh yeah, Gallup's got a lot of drunks too. There's a lot of reservation right there. That's one thing. There's a lot of resin, and then they have real bad alcohol problems, domestic violence, and they're treated hella ghetto. Ghetto as fuck. Shout out to all my Indonesians, indigenous, Navajo, Apache, the Pueblos. Oh yeah, no, me too. Look at all that. You see all that gray hair? It's the last thing I need. I'm getting too old to get locked up. Anyone that looks forward to that's ridiculous. I'll work a little harder. I'll work a little harder. I'll go to work in the morning. I'll stay broke. Don't lock me up though. I'm good on that. And like I've told people before, I never done prison bids. I'm not a pintero, but I have done fucking like 6-7 years county time. I go in for I almost did 2 years waiting trial one time. That was county. Then I would do the 8-month special, the 4-month special. I did it like 20 times. It was a revolving door. And that's just as bad. There was times I had vatos. They used to always tell me the pintos. Would say like, this counting time is hard. You can't program because like vatos are just coming in and out acting rowdy and you don't work. Like when we get to the pen, we got like jobs in the kitchen and in the damn gyms and there's no jobs and we have the yarda, out over there. And then here we're in the cell block like day and night. Everybody's going all wild, fighting in the cell blocks, scraps in the bathrooms, scraps in the cells. And they were like, I've had many vatos were like, man, get me out of here. Like send me to the pinta where I know vatos. Because here's the general consensus. When you hit the pin, fool's got to be there 10 years, 15, 20 years, life. It calms down. Nobody wants to be in there. Nobody, not only they want to, but they're not going to put up with some young buck acting all crazy, acting all hard, like, boom, he's going to get checked. He's going to get balked out and put down by his own people. You know why? Because nobody wants to deal with that. If you're going to be in here 10 years, we want to do his time as peacefully as possible and program and get through the day. That's the general consensus. And it's the opposite when you're in county. It's like fools come in like, I'm going to be here 1 month. I'm coming off drugs or whatever. They're like, I'm going to represent to the fullest. I'm going to stick up as many fools as I can. You know what I mean? Just go wild. Like there's no restrictions. There's no policies. There's no that when I get the pinta on everyone says I can't do this and do that. Well, I can now. That's the type of mentality of and many a times I seen fools, what I mean, come nighttime, phew, the lights start flickering, fools getting hit up and ran up on, sock, you know what I mean, soap sock, all types of shit. What up, Luke KG the Don? Every time I see your picture, and I shit you not, homie, I ain't no ass kisser. I'll tell you straight. Every time I see your picture, that looks cold too with that OD40. It makes me thirsty. Everybody, look at Lucchese the Don. He's holding that old school 40 with the gold label. Ooh, wee. And it looks cold too. It looks like you just pulled it out the fridge right there. I can still see it sweating. I don't drink like I used to, homie. I wouldn't work. I would lose my family and all that. Like I used to fucking drink. Even after I came home from work, I would cash 3 or 4 of those 40s. No problem. I would drink until 1 in the morning and wake up at 6 in the morning to work, do the same thing every night. I don't even drink. For real, I don't drink, period. Like every now and then, I'm not like all against it. Like on a weekend, maybe I'll drink a 40 or drink a couple beers or something, but nah, not like I used to. But like I said, nice to see some solid ones up in here, and you guys can see I only got 20 some people in here. It's because I don't really go live. I don't. I just kick back and I'll keep on putting right now. Also, just in case you guys might be wondering, I have like 6 videos all waiting right away. Every time I do a video, because I had controversial shit, they automatically put it under like not suitable for certain people and make it yellow. So what I have to do is have it reviewed. This review process takes like up to a week. So I'll make a video, put it on private, and then have it reviewed. So that way, as soon as it comes up green, like, whoop, you got the green light, it's been reviewed. Then I put it public so everybody can watch the video. So with that being said, I have like 6 of them right now made. 3 of them are reactions. 1 of them is an opinion on some other things. And another thing we can talk about, of course, Flacco shit, because I haven't done nothing on that. If you guys are watched the genre, you guys are gonna know, of course, a convict's perspective, very successful channel, been around for quite a while. Was one of them, all I feel like was one of the major mile paving stones, if you will. They Centro Califa, so orale, amor, homie. Got caught up lately, just recently got caught up in, I'm not saying he did or didn't do anything, alleged that he got caught up with this or that, but he's already made bail and got out. All right, homie, later's machete. But best wishes to him like anyone else. I hope all goes well. And but I would give this piece of advice. Like I said, you can always leave it up to Mike, give his true opinion. Whatever was the cause of that shooting, of what, when the cops went to his house and he freaked out, and him playing into the trolling, giving so much attention to it, all of this roots from something, and until he corrects whatever the root of that is, you're gonna keep seeing problems, keep seeing arrests, keep seeing erratic behavior. Now, I'm not saying what that is. I'm not trying to say that it's drug use or that it's domestic. Maybe it's YouTube. Maybe YouTube's got him going crazy. The trolls alone, maybe, what I mean, got the dude straight off his rocker. I don't know. I can't say. So I'm not going to sit here and try to say that. But my advice would be that you got to realize whatever happened, then he got out and bailed out, and he's right back in the same environment of that he was prior to crazy shit occurring. So that's something to think about. A lot of people talk about that. And then on the gunner thing, I'll also say, everyone knows. See, I had videos made about me. A lot of these people, not APA did, a couple other people, maybe Flacco, but a lot of people also didn't. What they're doing is they're getting, they're getting a lot of subscribers. They're getting a lot of views. It's working out. And I said the same thing at a certain point, If the people want it, the people like it, all right. But one or two, something like that, to me is like, all right, that's acceptable. But more than that, it's just, you got to remember, I hate to say it, I want to point something out. I know people are, oh, you can't say no, I could care less about Gunner. Like I said, whatever. That fool, him and his little homie disrespected me, whatever. I don't, but like I said, that's the thing. I'm not going to let it bother me or get me all angry on or off. But, just hit that one. But every subscriber, I heard Gunner say this. I don't know if it was on one of the clips. Like I said, damn near every channel you put it on, there's clips of the fool, him videos, people making fun. He did say something and it made sense. It stuck in my head and it was true. Every view, remember this, Vatos, that you guys get from posting a video about Gunner, even dissing him, even if it's a diss track or a paperwork, exposure, or whatever you want to call it, a rap beat, whatever. Remember something. Every view, that's one of his views. That's not yours. People ain't watching that because they will love your content, because they love you and they like what you're putting out. They're watching that because they dislike him, because they like him getting put in the mud. They'll watch anybody who puts out a diss track on him or a diss video. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that anyone making that video is special. Like, oh, I got 10,000 views. How come my last video didn't get 10,000 views? Well, let me tell you. Because only 1,000 of those people are your viewers. 9,000 of them are Gunner haters. You know what I mean? So think about that. It's a good point. If you make a video about Gunner, dissing Gunner, and people watch it and they're interested in it, and it gets, let's say, 10,000 views, maybe 500, maybe 1,000 of those are your viewers that appreciate your content for who you are. The other 9,000 are people that's why they're called extra views, more than you usually get. Because they're watching it out of that name that's on the title, that drama that it brings. Just something to think about. Like I said before, those aren't subscribers I want. No diss to anyone, but I don't want someone coming up on here and subscribe to my channel because I did a diss video, because I did some type of player Haitian. You know what I mean? I want people to subscribe to me because they're like, damn, man, this is an alright video. Or damn, this dude's got alright opinions. Not all. He can. He drops plenty of disses. I can't wait to see him diss somebody else. Like, what you call that as somebody that appreciates a hater. And I want appreciators. I like a man that sees another man boosting up a man and is like, yeah, go for it. Help him out. I like the man that stands up for the guy getting bullied, not the guy that roots for the bully. You feel me? So that's one thing I'm saying. I understand that certain people have their emotions, so they're like, yeah, they're basically, what they call that is mob mentality. I hate to say it, you guys, but there's a mob that loves to see to cheer together. It doesn't matter. Once they were cheering on, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because once it was me, once I was the person the mob was after, right? Gunner, Dubs, all his little peons, Dankin and Drankin, OG, everybody came after me. I was the ones I was in Gunner shoes right now. Everybody was pelting rocks at me, and they weren't accusing me of they weren't dropping paperwork and, accusing me of being all this shit, because there's none out there. You'll never find no paperwork on me. You'll never find any accusations of me being a ronder or being any of that. The only thing you'll get, Mike's a loc, like fucking really low, like 5150. That's about what you're gonna hear. Mike's just off his rocker, period, and he's all right. You know what I mean? But and that's a good good point, Izzy Joker. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news and to what do you call it? Plan what do they call that? A vice between anybody to separate. But I do want to point something out. I see a hell of a lot of people. Few of them were sitting on that panel, cheering on Dubs, not cheering him on, but we're sitting there with him, doing the same thing, nitpicking at me, are now going after Gunner and Dubs because it's the thing to do. Because everybody else is dropping videos. Because everybody, man, I thought that was your brother. I thought that was your best friend. I mean, you sit on lives with them every day. Now you're gonna hate on him because it's the thing to do. Because everyone else is saying that. Why didn't you see that in him in the first place? You know what I'm saying? If you're such a reader of people and you don't go with the crowd, then why wouldn't you have seen that this fool, i.e. Gunner, wasn't any good in the first place? It took other people showing videos to you. It took somebody else showing you paperwork, somebody with intelligence to step up and say, well, look at this fool's a fake. Is that what it takes? Or do you just not care? And, you know, as long as the crowd's happy, I'll throw rocks at my mama. Long as fucking, you know what I mean? They don't throw rocks at me, right? That's mob mentality. And I won't go with it. You know, that's why I don't make videos about Gunner or Dubs or anything, especially when it's a thing to do when everyone's doing it. Rojo's a good example. I remember him being best friends with Gunner. He was one of the ones that was like backing him up, talking shit about me with the rest of YouTube when I got into an argument with Dubs. And now I see him on on Dankin' and Drink. I see him on all the enemies channels of this fool Gunner. Like I said, along with other fools. And now they're speaking out about how fake Gunner was. Like Mikey. There's a good person. Let's bring this up. Not to start drama, but just keep it real. Mikey from the Salinas Report. It takes Gunner. I saw his little video saying that Gunner told him how real he was and how he acts like a true Salinero. And that's why and then he realized right at that moment he couldn't talk to the vato no more. So it takes a fucking piece of basura actually telling you you're too real. I can't talk to you, for you to like realize, oh man, this dude's right. I can't talk to him because I'm so real. Like, what the fuck? That is the weirdest shit I have ever seen from the Mexican Ned Flanders. Now he seems real, yeah, and I ain't got no beef with him. But I'm just saying, another one that it takes what? How many months? How much red flags? And then finally, when everyone else, with 30 or 40 or 50 other channels decide to come out, now you decide to say, I can't fucks with him. Now you decide to say, hey, you know, bust out this clause. I saw he had a clause. Yeah, he's got him legally by the balls. Mikey from the Salinas Report, he's got Gunner by the balls. He's got him in the clause. You know what I mean? He owes him 10 grand, period. There ain't no way around that. But, you know, Mikey's not a fool. I watch some of his content. Shout out to Mikey. But at the same time, I'm not down in the fool. I want to say right now, shout out to all the Ross, especially, you know, Alisal District, straight out. That's where my dad's from. And my dad is a Mike also. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Mikes. Mikes ain't no fools. Never have been. Hey, they want to be like, everybody want to be like Mike. But check it out, though. The one thing I didn't see was, how could you not have seen this before? You come forward now wanting that 10 G's, but why didn't you want that 10 G's when this fool fell through? The day he called up and said, I can't make it, I would have been like, where's that 10? But now that the crowd is against him, see, these are signs you guys got to look for. These are things I look at when everyone else is looking at is tunnel vision. I'm looking at it them and seeing what they're looking at. That's the type of person I am. I read people reading people. I watch how they react to other people and so I can see how they are. You know what I mean? So what I see from Mikey is when Gunner was cool, when nobody had a problem with him, he didn't have a problem with him. Even though he knew that he had him for 10 G's, even though he knew this fool wasn't what was made the fights not happen, he still was cool with it. Right up until the very fact that everybody else decided, oh, let's all mob him. And I mean everybody. You know what I mean? From fucking Flacco to EB, shout out to the homie. Again, EBK fan, nothing but love. EBK fam, you know, started going off, getting some kilo paperwork on him. A bunch of people, you know, started just mopping him up. Shout out to the homie Frank Gucci. That's a real one right there. Frank Gooch from Sanjo, from Mobstero. You know, he had some good stuff. But I'm not going to lie, though. My only question would be, how come, of course, because this is the type of vato I am, where were all these vatos prior to the last, let's say, 2-3 weeks when it became popular to do it? Where was Frank Gooch before everyone spoke out? Why wasn't he the first one to be like, check it out? Nah. Or Mike from the Salinas Report, why wasn't he like, you know what I mean, waving a flag when he called like, hey, calling the shit on Gunner? You know, why does everybody wait to decide to bust out their paperwork, bust out their videos? All right. Much love, homie. I got some more stuff coming, Burqueño. But you guys can understand what I'm saying, right? Oh, I believe it, but I'm just saying, like that 10 grand that he's talking about, and talking about like he don't want to talk with them there anymore. It seems a little convenient that everybody's pulling all their strings at one time. It seems like mob mentality, like, oh, well, everyone's getting them, I'm gonna get him, and I'm gonna get him, and I'm gonna get him. You know, because Gunner lied on American Cholo. Yeah, but see, all this paperwork that people have on Gunner, on all this shit, was they had it before American Cholo. You shouldn't need Gunner trying to put out fake paperwork to call the. You understand what I'm saying? To call the red flag on him, like me. If I figure out somebody, if I got paperwork on somebody, I'm dropping that shit the minute I get it. Not the minute everyone else. Oh, you know what I mean? Somebody busts out fake paperwork. Oh, I got paperwork on him too. Look, you know what I mean? Check it out. I'm gonna bust it out since he busted out fake. You kind of understand what I'm saying, though, right? You feel what I'm saying? How it seems like everyone at once is whistleblowing, they call it, which means everyone at once. Oh, I'm gonna jump up. Oh, I'm gonna jump up. I'm gonna jump up. You know what I mean? I just named 5 different channels that at once came at him. Like if they would have all came at different times, like okay, Frank Gooch 2 months ago, a month, you know what I mean, 2 weeks ago, then I would have believed like it's just people just getting at him. But all at the one same time, you know what I mean? It seems like everybody's taking the opportunity to do what they call bandwagoning, and jumping on the bandwagon. Like, oh, okay, well, Frank did it, or EB did it, fucking Flox did it. I'm gonna come up with something too right here. I'm gonna do it. Now, the reason why I'm speaking on that is because I have done 2 videos, and like I said, this is where it makes me different. My 2 videos that I did about them, they were reactions, but they were reactions to videos they did on me. The day after we got into an argument on a live or whatever, 7 of them against me because they didn't agree with me. They both dropped a video the next day clowning me. One Dubs did it, and one Gunner did it. I wasn't just gonna leave it be. I wasn't gonna pay attention, but I took this as a good opportunity. Actually, it was more of a message to all of YouTube, but also mainly to Gunner and Dubs that look, out of all these channels making videos about you, clowning you, dropping all this shit, I didn't do it. Here, and I'm one of the only ones that you guys made a video about. You understand? Read my last. Gunner claims his boxing match was staged and Murato was still gassed out. Oh, who cares? Like I said, again, here we go down that same road. I could give a shit if he was gassed out or not. I could give a shit if he was fully prepped, ready to bang it out, and had damn brass knucks under, or if he was damn, you know what I mean, weaked out, trying to hide, you know what I mean, under the damn house. I don't care. You know what I mean? I didn't even watch the fight. Ain't seen it yet. On everything. That's on my mama's soul. I ain't never seen that fight. I ain't seen the Gunner Flacco fight, bro. I heard about it a million times, but as soon as I seen the big old fucking headpieces and gloves, I was like, you know what I mean? I seen the what do you call previews and shit for it. I ain't never seen him throw down, not once. Oh yeah, no, I know, understand why, but you gotta understand. Gucci was saying that that video that Gunner made about West Side Mob was made like a year ago, maybe 6 months ago. That's all. And I'm not clowning none of those fools. Like everybody has their own reasons and their own rights to it. If you want to make a video, man, that's your channel, your platform, your lane. You know, I'm just saying like that's not what I do. They made videos about me, but I ain't gonna make none about them. Only video I made was me giving my opinion on them. Make a video about me. Like I said, that was a statement. That was me showing that even though you make a video about me, I'm not gonna make one about you. I gave you permission, type shit. You know what I mean? You can make a video about me and not the unnamed video because both of them were scared to say my name in the video. All they said was, well, we all know who it is, and he's got an army with him, and he's a hater and all this shit, but they were scared to say my name. That fool would never be my crime partner, homie. I need somebody that's quick. You know what I mean? Well, that fat fool will get us caught by the cops. Straight up. But like I said, and I make it clear, this was no diss. Like shout out to, I think that fool's a feed man. Like I said, in it right off, I think Frank Gucci's a real one. Like straight up, you can tell from how he talks, and he got the real down low on what happened. Gunner's YA story, you know, and I don't blame him for that. But at the same time, you got to take a lot of people out there probably were like, wow, you know, that was a fake story, you know, and a lot of people probably were interested. I ain't gonna lie. We're probably like, man, you know, I'm gonna be real. It didn't phase me any. You know what I mean? Okay, so what? A fucking 12-year-old is running from another 12-year-old. And then they probably turned around and ran after another 12-year-old. And maybe in the drug program, you know what I mean? 12-year-olds act wild. Shit happens. 1 minute maybe they're cowards, the next minute they're fucking good, you know, when they're in the mode. Like I said, it's not something I did, but at the same time, not would you expect me to jump up and laugh about something a motherfucker did when he was in grade school? I know some motherfuckers that snorted worms and pulled them out of their mouth in grade school. Am I supposed to fucking walk up to him right now and be like, hey, homie, you're the fucking ultimate worm snorter of all time? You know what I mean? Like, what? That's fucking grade school, eh? You know what I mean? That's fucking, it has no matter to me. To me. Some people build their whole lives around what happened in fucking YA. That's all they have to claim. Like, oh, and YA this, YA that. Like, what do they call that? Incredible Javier. Fucking 3,000 stories about YA. You know what I mean? But some of us was like, that was just a little phase, and then you want to move on, and we could give a shit what happened to Vatos in there. Some Vatos shot. You know what's crazy? Some of those Vatos that were hitters, doing the shanking and fucking battery packing and all that, some of them became rats and fallouts and fucking all that. And I'm not talking about on that direct paperwork with Gunner, but I'm talking about in general. You know what I mean? Some of the biggest sissies in junior high became the biggest hitters in prison. And some of the biggest fucking hitters in junior high became shit sissies in prison because they couldn't hang or they got strung out on dope or something. Facts. Some of the downest motherfuckers that started their bid for the first 5 years ended up in PC for their last 5 years. Facts. Like, you know what I mean? You can't, there's just no way to write. There's nothing, you can't write anything in stone, period. You know, all them same fools that were fighting each other, Bulldogs and Norte and in YA, are now trying to cling to each other for life because the fucking SNY yards are bigger than them. I'm just talking Cali style. They want to get like literal. You know what I mean? Them same fools that got scars are now like, oh, hold on to me, bro. We got to make it on this 50-50 yard. Where there's fucking 200 of dropouts and 50 of us. He says, this fucker. Strangers. Well, you gotta understand though, bro. It's there's fakes everywhere. Why would Gunner be any different? That's what I'm saying. Why would people be appalled? Like, you guys act like there's not Malibu's Most Wanted everywhere. Like there's not little kids in every Norte town that's got red rags and never been ranked in. They live in the nice side of town. Like there's imitators everywhere. Why would that faze me or anyone else on here? Why would anyone want to, oh, Gunner, he's a fake. What? You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I would say if anyone says I got paperwork on Gunner? I would wad it up and tell him, shove up your ass, because I didn't give a shit. Oh, he's a rat? Oh my God. Really? Seems like something a YouTube star would do. Seems like somebody that sells a bunch of stories and sits in front of a camera all night would do. And I'll still say to this day, he still tells good stories. He may be the worst fucker when it comes to getting off and banging ever. Biggest PC ever. But he's a hell of a good storyteller. He knows how to fucking play the role and say the words and come right to mind. That's what people are on here for. You take some of the downest G's, Phantom, some of those guys that are real, like what you guys are looking for, what you're talking about, solid, feed man, fucking, and you try to bring them on YouTube. You know what most of them are going to look like? Let me show you. There's my version of a G. You know why? G's don't say much. They're not going to be running their mouth and fucking making all these dances and doing all this. And I'm not saying I ain't a G. I've been there, but I'm just same thing. I'm on YouTube because I'm trying to be a YouTube star. I'm putting on a show for you guys. If I wanted to be fucking straight up solid as fuck, I would turn this off and turn it off my platform. You know what I mean? Because this ain't the place for spreading fucking code and spreading fucking G enforcement. This is the place for telling stories, you know what I mean? Your stories, real ones, hopefully, you know, and or whatever, you know, and getting big. I watch some of these other channels and like I said, One thing somebody said, I don't remember who was it, but many people have said it. There's millions of genre, like literally. You go to dirt biking. There's a dirt biking genre. You go to mountain biking, like the guys that ride the mountain bikes. Matter of fact, I'm subscribed to one of them. So shout out to Sam Pilgrim. He's got 1.4 million subscribers. Now that's a fucking channel. That's a platform. You know what he does? He's like sponsored by Monster. He rides down big trails and like sports riding, mountain bikes. There's all these different types of genres, and some people, you know what? There's like 220,000 subscribers. They call it the weight press. Somebody out there, whether it's a mechanic shop or whatever, own a weight press where you press down like the mechanic weights where it squashes things. They squash shit in it like cans, hammers, guns. 200,000. I watched 10 videos myself. I was like, damn, this is kind of interesting. I was watching them. What they were doing was smashing old hammers from the 20s and comparing it to new hammers from like new age hammers from straight out of Ace Hardware. What they were comparing is like they don't make them like they used to, new and old. The video I was watching had like 350,000 views. I was thinking to myself, seriously, I'm not even joking. Like if I can come up with 10 grand and buy one of these fucking presses, these 20,000 pound hydraulic presses, I could do the same thing all day. Just squash different shit. People watch it. They love it. It's kind of sad when you think, I don't mean to clown no one out, but you think of guys, let's say Gunner, just take him for a good example. 60,000 subscribers for years. He's been on the camera, talking his heart out, telling his stories, doing lives, right? Years, 2-3 years now, 4 years. And he's got 50,000 subscribers. Then these fuckers come along with a fucking press, a machine. It doesn't even talk. They don't do shows, nothing. Just a machine squashing stuff. And they got fucking literally 6 times the subscribers. Think about that, people. That's YouTube in a nutshell, right there. Yeah, but Tony T, that's an incorrect. I just use news clips because that's what I could find, and that's part of how I do my videos. Those news clips are incorrect. Those, if you notice, they're interviewing Khalifa gang members in the video. Of course, they're gonna say what they want and try to make them look as fierce. The videos about them, but in reality, I ain't even lie. There is like norteños, sureños. There's 18 streeters, but in Albuquerque or Burque, there's like a few hundreds of them and shit. But there's way bigger gangs. Like San Jose, there's thousands of them. 18th Street, which actually branched off, it's not like part of Cali no more. It's just an Albuquerque thing, Tiny Wino set. There's like 1,000 of them. So they're mega gangs compared to the handfuls of pockets of sureños, But they're with the business, just like any gang. You want to survive out there, you better strap up and shoot up. You know what I mean? Shoot out. And that's just how it is. But in that video I did though, that was like I said, you got to remember that the interviewers and the people they're interviewing are all sureños. Like you take a local gang with a local interviewer, they would have laughed at that shit. It would have been like, you look at some of the comments, people laugh. See, the reason why that UTK gang member, they ended up getting into it with UTK. If you remember in the beginning, if you watch that actual video, they say that the Sureños took over the war zone. But then you say they got into it with UTK. The reason why they got into it with UTK is because they actually got ran up out the war zone by some fools, JMVers and shit. So they left from there and went to UTK, which is uptown, and started banging out of that neighborhood. And that's when they got into it with UTK. So they were kind of getting pushed out of neighborhoods left to right. But nonetheless, not dissing. They stay with the business. They stay connected. And that's one thing. There's never a shortage of sureños. Cali, they just keep getting born, getting made, growing. I mean, they're starting to look like Swifty Blue and fucking money sign Suede. They're coming less and less, intimidating. They no longer look like, the old school fucking cholos of the day. Now they got on tight pants and bright red sweaters with fucking, they look like Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Imagine someone like Swifty Blue walking up to you like, what's up? I'm going to dust you. I'm in Colombia. You don't see me sitting on top of my mountain or what? In Washington, they sport the Sharks. San Jose. Yeah, see, I don't know about Washington, but I do know there's a good little topic to speak about. San Jose, which is it's a very old. Here's a good thing. I want to point this out. Maybe I should do more lives. I got so much knowledge, it's just fucking pouring out of my ears. I got into a few arguments with people from Califas, and nothing but love for all my people, for everybody, but especially from north to south, Califas, from all southwest, which is from Cali to Texas. But I will say one thing. You know what? I'm gonna come out and say something right here. I don't appreciate the way the Vato never acted childish. This is for Cheeto Cochina. I don't appreciate the way he acted. I'll probably bop in the mouth if I seen him for it. But as far as hold animosity, I've simmered down as the weeks pass or whatever. It's YouTube. He's a drunk Vato running his mouth. Why am I gonna sit here? I'm not gonna fucking get. If I had a real problem, I'd get a plane ticket and handle that. I'm not gonna let it. Like I've said before to other people, if it's real, you handle it. I don't give a fuck. We got into a scuffle or whatever. It means nothing to me. Yes, yeah, right. But so yeah, covered some good subjects here. I think talked about all kinds of shit. Oh yeah, that's what I was about to talk about though. See, sometimes I forget. I start reading comments and I forget what I was about to talk about. So check it out. Burque, Albuquerque, or the Nuevo Mexico territory. The state was founded in 1915, but the actual settlement, the area when the conquistadors came through. See, there's a lot of people that live in New Mexico that still have, like in the areas called Gallina, La Jarra, Cuba, all those areas, Torreon, that are still have Spanish land grants, which means when the conquistadors came through in the late 1500s, people were granted Spanish land grants basically from the king of Spain, the Queen of Spain, King of Spain, saying, hey, if you guys stay in this area, which was New Mexico territory, you know what a land grant is, right? It's basically a piece of paper saying you guys stay here, settle here, farm here, make settlement, basically stay here, and this is your land. We write it off to you. You own it by settling here and staying here. So there's a lot of people. There's actually like a little mini civil war in New Mexico over it because the government, Uncle Sam, United States, were trying to land tax them, and all this shit. And a lot of the elders, in their 80s and 70s, were like, started busting out their Spanish land grants, being like, "No, we're not, we're not, Americans. We're not United States. We are subjects of the Kingdom of Spain." You know what I mean? Like, you guys can't fucking push that shit on us. And you still go and you talk to people that live in the hills, like all the fucking vaqueros and shit, valleros and shit that live Española. Shout out to all my Española people, Española, España, as we call it. They even have a town in New Mexico called Spain. It's Española. You know what I mean? The red and yellow on the flag, the New Mexico flag, that's from the colors of Spain. Conquistador, the Duke. Some people will if you ever see, like the guy we had in here earlier, had like a cartoon looking symbol with the conquistador hat on. That's what they call the Duke, which was a conquistador, bro. That's how old this shit goes back. People don't understand that in the 1500s, which is prior to Columbus. Yes, folks, Christopher Columbus landing in the 1600s. You can look it up. Look when the first, not New Mexico was found, but the New Mexico territory prior to states. It was founded in the 1500s. Straight up. It's one of the oldest territories in the United States territory. Way older than Cali. Much older than that. By that time, Cali was all Indians. You know what I mean? California was Indians, and some of it was Mexico, but even Mexico was Indians because the conquistadors had it mixed with the Aztecas, creating, you know what I mean, of what we call Mexicans. Simon, the enforcer. I am. So check it out. That's where a lot of the pride comes from. You'll hear guys tell people in New Mexico, you'll hear somebody say, "Oh, you're Mexican." First thing they say, "Hell no, I'm New Mexican." Because we've been a lot. I know it sounds stupid as hell. this is gonna sound retarded, but New Mexico has been around older than Old Mexico. Okay, so when you talk to a New Mexican, Joe's knows what I'm talking about. They'll say, "Nah, I ain't Mexican, fool. I'm New Mexican." I caught all kinds of gas when I did the video about Johnny Tapia, because I said in the video he's a well-known Mexican boxer from New Mexico, from Burke. Thinking in my mind, of course, Spanish bloodline, Mexican bloodline. I got checked real quick. Oh, hold up. He's a New Mexican boxer. Fool, get it straight. He ain't from Mexico. His roots ain't from Mexico. His roots all the way back to the 1500s come from the area of Burke, Albuquerque. You see guys in Albuquerque, they have 1706 tatted on their eyebrows and on their necks, and that's the year 1706. That's the year the Duke of Albuquerque was. That's the year it was founded. And it's funny because one of the neighborhoods, which is Los Padilla, shout out to all my LPers, that settlement, the Padilla family, was from 1716. So only a few years after Albuquerque was founded, Padillas, which is a neighborhood in Albuquerque, was actually settled also, one of the older neighborhoods. So just a little history lesson on people always talking like, oh, New Mexico, this, that. And I always tell them, like, we've been around longer than you vatos. You know what I mean? You guys been around since the late 1800s, mid 1800s. But Nuevo Mexicano people have been around since the 1500s, when the first wave of the conquistadors walked all the way from Lower Mexico, through Tenochtitlan, through all that areas, when they were still speaking, you know what I mean? What do they call it? Azteca, Huarta or whatever it's called. What is it called? I forget. The Azteca language. But yeah. So there's a little lesson there. It goes fucking way, way back. Marvelous. So I'm trying not to miss anybody's comments here. The Enforcer, a lot of the Southwest West Coast part of Mexico. Yeah, it was part of Mexico, but I'm talking about before Mexico, because Mexico came long after the conquistadors came through. They raped, pillaged, of course, everyone knows. The actual natives that were there, the indigenous, right? The Mayans, the Azteca. And then that's when you started coming with it was actually the Kingdom of Aztlan. Then later they cut it out as Mexico, which was California, Texas, Houston. I always tell people, why you think cities do you think a white person or even a Native American would name a city San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego? Psh, come on, man. That's Spanish names to the fullest, Spanish saints. All the way through Las Vegas. You know what I mean? Colorado. Durango is a city. Durango in Colorado. Eureka. Think about these cities' names. Think about them. You even go, and then you go into Texas. You got San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Texas. See, think about names in these bigger cities, right? That's all I tell people. And then once they think about it, that's all they got to think about. I tell them, if you ever want to know what these cities were before they were United States, think about the names of them. And that right there pretty much tells the story. You know what I mean? How can you say it was anything but when you got a city named Los Angeles? Sacramento. Mentos, fresheners, mentors. Hey, when you got a name like Sacramento, that's even way up north, bro. Think about that. That was Mexico to the fullest, all of it. Yeah, there we go. El Viciano. I forget the language though. Maybe somebody could throw it out there. I feel like a moron because I'm a know-it-all, So when the kind of shit slips my mind, it gets me pissed. Aztec language, somebody please. It starts with an H, I believe. I don't know why I want to say Huarto. I forget what it's called. But anyway, though, just a little issue. Thank you. Fucking Nahuatl. No. Nawa. Nahuatl. Yep, that's it. Thank you, Luciano. I appreciate you. That's it. That's the correct Azteca language prior to the invasion of not only the Spanish, but the Americanized Spanish side of the language. Yep, Nahuatl. Yep, Joe's on it too. Everybody busting them out. So there it is. And there's a little history lesson. You guys see Vatos walking around 1706. What the fuck is that? An area code or something? Serio, believe it or not, that's the founding year of Albuquerque. And the actual area goes back to the 1500s, to the Pueblos, the Anasazi. So yeah, there's Mexicans, which is what's in Califas and in Mexico, northern Mexico, and then there's New Mexicans, and those are they have a lot less Aztec in them because they're more some of the names, Chavez, and they go all the Nahua, exactly, Eddie, Nahuatl. Because the names go back to the Spanish, and it's not like a proud thing. You guys got to understand something. It's not like we were waiting the Spanish to come through, and it was like, hey, you're welcome, come on in. The Spaniards came with their steel, and they killed every Anasazi Pueblo, every Azteca, everyone along the way, and told them, this is what your name is. This is we're taking your ladies. You're gonna be our slaves. We're taking your gold. It was a deadly, dirty thing. Most people that are Catholic now. Shout out to my tia, my familia. They're big. They do they walk to the Santuario, and they do all that Santuario, and they're big on the Good Friday walk and the whole night. Me, I never was big on it, but they are, and so they know. One thing in the Catholic religion, and nobody wants to hear the fact that it was forced upon you. And no disrespect to anyone out there that loves their Catholic religion. Like I said, shout out to all my tia lives in San Jose. She's from San Jose. For many years back, since she was a baby, they all from San Jose. She lives right there outside the Candelaria Convention Center or Community Center, and that's her zone. That's where my mother resides, on the shelf right there in San Jose. That's where my mom's ashes are. If you want to, you ask, people ask me, are you from Burke? How's that for a Burke history lesson? My mom's sitting on a shelf right now in San Jose. R.I.P. Mom, love you. Yeah, and the enforcer, that's a good one to know too. If you guys know a lot of Filipino, you'll see the same last names, Cuyocho and just Chavez, like a lot of the exact same Castellanos, and you'll see them and you'll go, well, you look Asian. And then even their language, like if you look at the Philippines, they have city, literally. They have their country split in half, right? North and south. Guess what it's called? Yoko Sur and Yoko's Norte. I shit you not. Anybody thinks I'm lying right now? You bust out your fucking your Philippine map and look at it. So you see, that's all similar because, like the enforcer said, which is true, they also invaded the Spanish on. Yeah, I can, the enforcer. That's why educated Vato, this enforcer. But that's true. Yes, so they did go to the Philippine Islands also. The conquistadors, or the Spanish, they took over most of the world. The Spanish kingdom was very powerful in the 1600s. The king of Spain. But yeah, so they went through, when they were going through sailing, they stopped through the Philippines. And they made it, which is why you'll see a lot of Filipino kind of have a Spanish look, and they have the Spanish last name. And you look on their country, and it says, like I said, Yoko Sur, Yoko's Norte. You ask a Filipino where they're from, and you'll hear them say, no, Norte Sur, or Yoko's Norte, or Yoko Sur, or Yoko something. And as we know, of course, what that means. One of the biggest beefs ever brought to California was from those two words. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they did. Simon Ryan. And one of the, you see right there on his hat. Funny, I'm hitting up with you guys with this history lesson. If you guys look real quick at this Ryan Benavides in the comments, he's got the red with the yellow, red and yellow. That's our flag colors in Nuevo Mexico, which was given by the King of Spain as a little Spain, because red and yellow is for the Spanish flag. And you see the guy on there. It looks like a conquistador. It's a conquistador hat with a feather in it. That's the Duke. Still to this day, the mascot, or whatever you want to call it, the mascot for Albuquerque, or they call it the Duke City, which is a Duke was a conquistador. Bam, there's some little history lesson, you know. Yup, and they took everything along the way. And see, and in red, well, one thing a lot of people don't know back then was hard to come across. That color dye. It was a sign of a royalty. You know, you had to have feria and you had to be pretty much rich to have you a nice loincloth made of red. They were made from those little bugs. The pigmentation, they crush. They look like sand. They would crush them. It would come out like blood. That's one of the things that was prevalent throughout the Southwest. It was one of their biggest exports, actually. I forget what they were called. But it's like sand. You know what I mean? Corn also. You know, of course, the corn. But they were the purple corn. You guys know what I'm talking about, like the purplish corn. But at the same time, they had this stuff like look like sand, but it was actually like look like dead bugs kind of. And you put them in a bowl and you crush them up. You know what I mean? It turns into a red, like a blood. That's what they used to use to dye a lot of the cloths in Spain. And when they took that stuff back, I forget what it was called, but when they took it back to the King of Spain to show him how easily, how bright the dye would be in the red coloring was from these things, he said, get more. You know what I mean? Like, this is a great, we take things for granted now. But something like that, that's like gold back then. Like, oh, we can make more flags, make more gear, And, well, I bet. There's all kinds. You remember all that gold they found over by, I want to say Artesia, not Artesia, Estancia? I don't know, but everybody knows that, the conquistadors were known for leaving clues and also hiding gold. If you guys ever watched that, like Finding Gold or Treasure Hunters on, I watch all that. If I ever do watch TV, more than likely I like to read, watch, and do things that empower me, give me knowledge on history, on whatever, on enlightenment, on I watch. Like if I do start watching TV, I'll usually end up watching military show, National Geographic, A&E, like Vice. You guys ever watch that show Vice? These are some of my favorite channels. If you guys are in case you guys are wondering, I like to watch ancient aliens or ancient battles about like the Civil War and the Persian War and the Battle of Troy. Learn from others' mistakes. One thing I will say from all that I've learned, civilization repeats itself. Humanity, history has always repeats itself. History repeats itself. And one of the great things you see, some of the best civilizations of all time, the Aztec civilizations, the Mayan civilizations, the Roman civilizations, they always tend to what? Come to an end. Something ends them. Some of the greatest civilizations of all time. Something to think about, because we're pretty great right now. History repeats itself. So will our great civilization come to an end? Question to ask yourself. Exactly, Joaquin. Joaquin is correct. You guys read that right there. Do I still remember how to... There we go. Sorry I haven't been busting your guys' out, but there we go right there. 100% correct. Correctamundo. Yep, their bloodline, their direct lineage to the kingdom. And like I said, you go to some of those old houses, like I said, up in the hills, in Gallina, La Jara, and all those areas, Youngsville, Coyote, in between Española, the deep hills, that like wrong turn type of hills, they'll pull a shotgun in your mouth and tell you straight in Spanish. You know what I mean? Vamos. Get the fuck on. This is, they'll bust out their Spanish land grants. For real. Yeah, Sean, but you know what's crazy? Maybe now that I'm starting to get a little bit of a backing, I can. But I will say one thing. As much as I love talking about this stuff, when I first started my channel, I would do videos on stuff like this, on talk on education and shit like that, and it wouldn't get nothing for views. And then I do a gang. That's how I got into my gangland shit. Then I do a gangland representing of audio. Boom, 10,000 views. So as a creator, you start to see what people like and what they don't. And the sad thing is, they love drama. They love violence, gang shit, anything like that. Views go up. You talk history, education, opinion type shit, they don't want to hear it. Drama. Give us hey, don't tell us about history. Make another gunner video. Serio, that's the kind of shit you got to deal with, you know. And then as a creator, you ask yourself, so what do I do? Talk about history like I like to, and get 20 views, or make another gunner video and watch everybody get happy and make and get 10,000 views. You know what I mean? So when you got a situation like that, why can you blame really a creator for making another one and making another one? He's just doing what his creators want, what he's seeing, what he's getting feedback from. Just like the news. I mean, take any news channel, any movie, media, books. What sells? Drugs, gangs, killing, shootings. Right? You go to the movies. You want something that, you know, a good graphics, a shootout. Like if everybody was all kicking back, singing "Kumbaya," you'd be like throwing your coke at the screen, like, "Give me my money back." You know what I mean? Imagine if everybody showed up at the Gladiator Stadium, the gladiators all started shaking their hands, and they're all, "Hey, you know, well, in my community we do this and that." Man, the crowd would jump down and maul them. You know what I mean? Same with YouTube. Like, they don't want that peace. They don't want that history lesson. They don't want everybody to get along. They want, you know what I mean? Oh, get him. And as much as you can say, "Oh, we don't want to see that as viewers," or, you know, "We don't want to see no more drama," the views speak for themselves. Yeah, I try, but a lot of people be talking just like I said. When you make a video, let's say, like I said, I like to use the gun thing because that's what's going on right now, about somebody, and it does well, and the people say more. Of course you're gonna do more. Of course you're gonna make another video dissing. Of course you're gonna stay on that shit. Why? You're giving the people what they want, even if it's not what you want to do from your heart. You know, because maybe you want, like me, you want to talk about a little history. You want to talk a little bit about what you know about the fucking, you know what I mean? About what do you call it? The relativity, the theory of relativity and shit like that. You know what I mean? Wormholes. That's what I like to talk about, because I know someone's gonna figure out a way to time travel. See, Einstein, I read his books. You know, many of his books. One of Einstein's biggest books says, you know, 95% of Einstein theories were proven correct. Not just said, "Oh, he might be right." Proven, scientifically proven correct. One that hasn't yet, but he theoretically said it: time travel. His theory of time is like on a level, like a sheet of paper. If you can figure out a way to fold it with nuclear atomic energy, you can travel from one point on that fucking line to another point. It's kind of really hypothetically, you know, speaking, it's, you know, pretty sophisticated shit. You got to read the books and know what I'm talking about. But that's the kind of stuff I like to talk about, because I know it's right around the corner. You know what I mean? Hyper compulsion, moving at the speed of light so we can find another universe, because this universe is fucked. We have ruined it completely. There's no fixing it, you know? So we need to find another universe with it that has speaking of, perfect, I'm going off tonight. Perfect opportunity to speak on. You guys see that shit in Vegas with the aliens? I don't know if you guys are people readers like me, but if you guys seen any of those videos of that family in Vegas that said that there's video, a bunch of people got video of a damn plane like landing in the backyard, and then there's shit like running around their backyard. And if you watch the people's faces and you hear the 911 call, they ain't lying. They ain't lying. Like, I've seen hoaxes. I've read people my whole life. Yeah, the earth is round, bro. You could just look up at, you know why? It's just how it is. It's like a ball. When you spin a baseball, you could take anything of any shape and spin it long enough. Spherical force is gonna round it off. It's gonna turn it round anyway. And you can take a square. Right now, you take a damn what do you call it, Rubik's cube, and you spin it for long enough on a damn spinner, it's gonna damn warp itself into a ball, straight up. You know what I mean? That's just how things work. But anyway, though, so shout out to everybody. You know, yeah. So if you guys haven't yet, check out this new thing about this aliens landing in a family's backyard. There was a crash. I mean, it's like on like 5 different security cameras. You can see it. It looks blue. It's coming down. It's all, and then there's like a 911 call. They call like you know, 911, and he's like, it's not human. I don't know what it is. It doesn't seem like an act, like a show. Like it just doesn't add up. And it's one of them things, man. They're out there. I'm telling you. But you know what? I put in a solid 2 hours, you guys. Rasha, and like I said, from Khalifa, from Salas to Burke, for tapping in. I do appreciate you guys letting me bust out a little bit of my knowledge and my opinions. Like I always say, I respect yours if you respect mine. You know, we don't gotta agree. We can agree to disagree, but you know, we're all human, so keep it on that note. No one is above another. You know, your health. You know, respect the things and worry about the things that are irreplaceable because you can't replace them. Don't worry about that car, that house. Let that, you know what I mean? That you can get another house. You can get another car. That money in your bank comes and goes like a fart in the wind. Treasure the ones you love. You know, your health. That you know, you may not get that back. So shout out everybody. You guys have a good night. Thanks for Grasha for tapping in. I'm gonna try to do a live every weekend, just so you guys know. So you guys are like, oh, we're never gonna see this fucker again. I'm gonna try to do at least a 1 to 3 hour live every weekend, at least every Friday or Saturday night. I'm gonna call it Mike Saturday Night Lives. Saturday Night Live. Staying alive, staying alive. You know what I mean? So, Rasha, everybody, on my Nuevo Mexicano. See you guys on Friday.